It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. And it's all up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. And a welcome in, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, so much gets made about offensive comparisons. Here's a matchup where the defenses may just take center stage.
Yeah, we're usually talking about guys scoring touchdowns. How about the guys who prevent them and change the momentum of the game when they take the ball away? I love those ball hawks in the secondary. People after my own heart.
Here's the former UCLA Bruin, Kaimi Fairbairn, to get this one started. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. Here comes the Ravens on offense, and the man in charge from Louisville, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
They can't beat us straight up.
They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
If you're in the offensive huddle, you're smiling after that play because you've certainly got them guessing now. Second and short, could they just hand it off for another big gain? Or did they take advantage of this spot to take a big shot downfield?
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A really nice effort that time. 12 yards on the keeper, picking up the first. And this, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game. And all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
Play action. It's Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. Does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't. But it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, it makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. Brought down at the 20.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Jackson. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first.
Brandon, that's a gamer move right there. Facing 3rd down, steps up, calls his own number, and nearly makes the house call. If I'm the coach, I let him take another one right here. Give him a chance to be the first one to hit the end zone after that effort he just gave him.
Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll run with Dobbins. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. When we talk about being on schedule, I think they're on schedule after that run, getting it right down there on the doorstep.
Maybe even a little bit ahead, because now the defense can't dictate with pressure. They're guessing about where you're going to go. I might come right back at him with the same play, the same set.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Justice Hill punching it in from a yard away. And the Ravens get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. That's just a solid, methodical drive to start this game.
And how about how it culminated? Doing exactly what they wanted to do, getting the ball downfield, and then running it into the end zone. I'm just telling you, partner, when you run it in rather than throw it in, that hurts a defense psychologically a heck of a lot more.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the end result was the touchdown run by Justice Hill. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now, because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
Get him going, baby. Rock and roll, baby.
Throwing now is Stroud. That'll be caught at Steven Sims. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Defense gives up a touchdown the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Stroud sets up the play action. He sets to fire deep. He's got a man complete. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. 1st and 10, it's Stroud. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. Tyus Bowser from his outside linebacker spot gets him down there for a loss of 4.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Now Stroud. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Nice job there forcing that incompletion. This is going to be a fun battle throughout this game, watching him try to take away that area of the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. A 33-yarder from the left hash. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, though it'll come out to the 25. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. An option handoff here to Dobbins. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Play action. Now Jackson. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
They go play action now. Jackson. Oh, he's got a little daylight. The quick feet by Jackson. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, you don't expect too many quarterbacks to be adept at breaking away from would-be tacklers, but this is uncommonly good right here as he's able to get away.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding just a little bit trite, this is just a tackle that needs to be made. It's one thing when you've got a bruising 230-pound running back coming your way, but when it's a quarterback who's running for his life, your teammates will tell you, you've got to get him on the ground.
And the next-gen stats, CD, it shows us he covered better than 20 yards after the initial contact was made.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, down at the 31.
A shotgun snap and a give to Dobbins. And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Blockers in some dis. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Now a handoff for Dobbins.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up.
So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside.
The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson scoring on the keeper from 6 yards out. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
Partner, it wasn't that long ago that when I talk with these NFL coaches about different innovations in the college game, you can see their eyes roll and they just shut down right away. Don't bring me that joke college stuff. Well, guess what? The college game has definitely infiltrated its way into the NFL.
Yeah, and these guys, when you're seeing the option defensively, you got to stick to your assignments. I know that's cliche. They didn't do it there.
And option football means exactly what you just talked about. Assignment football for defenders. And that drives them crazy because you have to think your way through a play as opposed to just reacting and making the play.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
Taken in at the 3. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line.
So now we get set to see Houston for their second drive of the ball game. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Stroud to the air on 1st and 10. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Just a yard to go here on 2nd down. Stroud. And is this complete to Woods?
His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down.
Stroud now on 1st and 10.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get this first quarter of play.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20.
Play action. Here's Stroud.
And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. Give him 32 on the play.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route, well run, and the football, right on the money.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
First run of the game here for Dameon Pierce.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The 2nd down throw now from Stroud.
Airing it out deep for Woods. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, not that we had any questions, but it's obvious his arm does not hurt today, does it? He does not mind slinging it around.
He is firing that pigskin around the yard.
Yeah, putting it deep downfield, taking shots. Unsuccessful there, but I like his moxie.
Well, they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down.
Stroud on 3rd down now.
Just keeping the play alive. They juked him. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good possession, 1st and 10. Stroud with another keeper.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 4 yards there on the first down keeper.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Here's Stroud.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
And the Texans are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a 1st down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
They'll run here with Pierce.
A great move, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
After one, a 14-3 ball game.
Texans football to start quarter 2. The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal.
And Stroud now to throw.
Forced out to his left. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete.
This is where good coaching and execution come into play because down this close, you absolutely don't want to turn it over. Good job keeping that in mind as he escaped, bought time, and decided throwing it away was his best option.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal, Stroud.
Being chased out left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. A very costly sack there on 3rd and goal. Pushes him back big time. And now you'd figure the field goal team coming on 4th.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
Now Kaimi Fairbairn out for the field goal try for the Texans. From the left hash, this from 37. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
And they'll begin by running the option.
It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Well, we all know the guy carrying the ball is going to get the credit both in the stat line and probably in the newspaper. But guess what? Those guys creating holes, they couldn't feel better about themselves right now. Offensive line, tight end, probably even the wide receivers are involved. They're moving the ball well.
On second down, a run with Dobbins.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
To throw is Jackson. That ball's caught. Aguilar right side. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt.
Desmond King back deep. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And the Texans will take over. Houston set to take over.
And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there.
And Pierce gets it again on second down.
And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
So the false start will back them up 5. Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long.
Stroud here on 3rd and long.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And the Ravens taking the field.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27. On play action, they'll throw. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. He couldn't get rid of it. He winds up losing a yard. It's 2nd down.
And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Now Jackson. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Throwing is Jackson. And that will be incomplete.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Here's Jordan Stout now.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. On the return, it's King. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10.
And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans.
The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football.
Maybe he telegraphed it a little bit right there. You've got a quarterback knowing that he's going against a rookie quarterback. He stepped in and picked it.
You think he had a great week of preparation, looking forward to this opportunity? And the second part of that is, when you're a young quarterback, you are going to stare down targets, but oftentimes your playbook hasn't expanded to give you full field reads as well. Makes it a little bit tougher for him.
You know what we need, baby. Let's go get it now. We gotta be big time now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
They'll start with the option.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
They'll come out in the pistol.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins.
And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Lamar Jackson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half.
And the Ravens go up by 2 touchdowns. So the lanes continue to be there for Lamar Jackson to run that football. That his 2nd touchdown run of the game.
You know what I would like? I'd like for us to be able to go into a defense's room after playing Lamar Jackson and watch the tape and see how much of a lane was really there and how much he created just through his talents. In any event, Lamar Jackson finds the end zone, doesn't he?
He always seems to, but that's a good point. We sometimes put blame on the defense. Maybe we just need to praise Lamar Jackson a little bit more.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. It's up and good, and that'll make the score 21-6. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it, way to think of maybe to it in a little after you throw in confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah. Now a throw here to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down.
Stroud will run the option left.
And the ball is knocked out, and it's picked up by the Ravens. And this is going to be brought back from Baltimore.
The last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
The fumble return for a touchdown. Two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Texans set to come onto the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see.
We kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
There's the athleticism of Tyus Bowser on display.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Stroud looking to throw. And this incomplete. He tried to check it down to his running back and nearly had the ball picked.
Really good coverage all over the field. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
Stroud to throw it.
And he'll just get rid of it.
It's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, you got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit. We're not even at halftime.
On 4th down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. And they call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
He'll dump this off complete to Dobbins.
And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
A give up the middle to Dobbins.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
It's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Now Jackson taps this forward jet sweep. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
From just shy of midfield, Jackson.
He'll swing this out to Dobbins. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
They'll try to run for it with Dobbins.
And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's a tremendous group effort there because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were.
Right back to Dobbins. A
fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Even though he recovered his own fumble, you know how much he hates to put the ball on the ground. He's going to be frustrated with himself.
And what do you think the time frame was from the time the ball escaped his grasp to him getting it back? It didn't take that long, right?
Right.
To him, it probably felt like hours because he's agonizing, like, I've got to get this football back. Able to get it done.
The fumble on 1st down. Now here's 2nd down. Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who...
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down.
Here's Jackson. And he'll protect at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker, goal try. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So everything else has gone right in this first half. Kind of follows that it would for their kicker, too, as he adds 3 more onto the lead.
Yeah, and the way that this one's gone, definitely not looking like he's going to have to worry too much about pressure kicks late in the game. He can go out there free and easy, just work on his form, and he knocked that one through.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Texans now.
The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. On 1st down, here's Stroud.
Steps away, and he can't find anywhere to go with it. Tyus Bowser able to get in there yet again. That's already 3 sacks for him here in this first half of football.
You doing okay over there, partner? Because that's yet another sack in this game that you just had to call. We're not even at halftime yet. No wonder this team has the lead. What an effort by the defense right from the word go. The adjustments at halftime, they're going to have to be big, or this could really get...
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Stroud. Now they go screen. It's complete. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. A pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I like the thinking there because right after a sack, it can be a great time to call for a screen to your running back and use the defense against them. Able to gain some positive yards out of this one and make things a little bit easier for him on 3rd down.
Going for it with Pierce.
And this will not get close to the 1st down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Their timeouts and talk over what to do next. Set to punt. Here's Cameron Johnston. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Field 4 and taken successfully. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over.
And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession.
And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get in position for at least 3 points.
Hilton's out of the backfield.
The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Second and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7.
Jackson. And that'll be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And out across midfield down to the 45. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get his own, but it'll be second down.
Well, we've seen Jackson already have success in the first half running the football, and he gets good yardage on the ground again there. I mean, I know it's a $64,000 question, CD, but how do they contain him better?
You have to win against the blockers ahead of you. If those guys even occupy a defender for even a half a second, then Lamar Jackson is gone. You've got to take those blockers and move them so that you have clear vision of Lamar Jackson, and hopefully you can hem him in.
So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So more of the same here, CD. Not a touchdown, but 3 more points added on to their lead.
Yeah, it's been a total domination here in this first half. Offensively, defensively, even the special teams have chipped in as he connects on the field. It may be a little bit premature, but I think the only thing we're worried about dominating now, the post-game meal.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And no reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with on top. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. First order of business, though. Let's get a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for Houston. And they did have some success running the football in those first 2 quarters. And that might be something they continue to work on as they try to get back in this game.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Texans down on the scoreboard, but they do get the first crack here as we are back underway in the second half. A touchback is at Sales over the end line.
For the Texans getting ready to go here to begin the third quarter. CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Houston. Robert Woods. 75 yards.
And the Texans come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And boy, it was pretty.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
Taking it about the 1. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half.
And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson.
Quick slant complete to OBJ.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, we're going to sell the go. Just go, and let's see who's faster.
They'll run up the gut with Dobbins.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
56 yards rushing forward with the ball game now on 14 carries.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Jackson on first down. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Jackson now.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Jackson.
They set up the screen for Dobbins.
And he is going to lose yardage here. So it'll be a loss on the play of 12 yards. Bring up fourth down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on third down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll come on to kick this one away. Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
And now out comes Houston.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Now they'll throw it with Stroud here, 1st and 10.
He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. A very solid gain of 27.
On the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got the step of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
They'll run on 1st down with Singletary. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good 1st down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
On 2nd down, it's Stroud.
Toward the sideline, and look at that in the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st.
Okay, I'm not a fan of any routes that just, turn around defensive backs, mainly because I was a defensive back. But the comeback route is so difficult because to sell it, you're selling it like it's a deep route before you come towards either the line of scrimmage or the sideline. And boy, that one worked to perfection.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll give this to Singletary running right.
And he's got it down to the 28. On 2nd down, here's Pierce. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there.
Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Open man there is Collins, complete.
And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 12-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another 1st. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you got the ability and had the ability to run it in, throw it, go play action, and take your shot at the end zone?
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Singletary going to get the handoff.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 10 more there and another first down.
Get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Here's Pierce.
And they will stop him after a fairly hard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
Again, it's Pierce.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston.
Dameon Pierce. A touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Texans are able to cut into that deficit. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point.
And the lead will be cut down to 14. That time, a 9-play drive.
And it was Dameon Pierce closing things out with a touchdown run.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
Fields it right around the goal line. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession.
Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
And they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. And that's good for a gain of 6. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And he will have a first down here at about the 40.
63 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
Jackson now off the bootleg.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Christian Harris there finding his way home to record the sack.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Here's Jackson to throw. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on first down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
They go play action now. Jackson. That's complete to the fullback, Ricard. Yeah, this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be 4th and short.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline.
Houston set to take over. Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
1st and 10, it's Stroud.
And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left.
Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-body tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
Play action. Stroud now.
Throwing left side here, and it's complete.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
Stroud sets up the play action. Swings this one out wide for Pierce. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Stroud to throw it. Delivers another one to Pierce. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Stroud now on 1st and 10. And this is incomplete. Very lucky to get that one back. That nearly picked. It's 2nd down now.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
Pierce now up the middle.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down.
He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the block.
Touchdown, Houston! Robert Woods, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Texans are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air, because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away.
This taken in at the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field.
Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the 2nd half. A gorgeous day, 1-score game. 1st and 10 here.
From the gun, it's Jackson.
That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Steven Nelson.
And the Texans are going to take possession of the football.
So, my goodness, I wouldn't have thought this possible not too long ago, but that turnover there means we have a game again.
Yeah, it's been a completely different team here in the 2nd half. I just wonder on the other side of the field, where the starters telling the backups, get ready, you're going to get some playing time. And now guess what? Hope they didn't cut the tape off of their wrists and ankles. They've got to go back out there and play.
Let's go get it now. Let's ride out. Let's ride out. It's showtime, baby.
First and 10, it's Pierce.
They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Stopped by the safety, Kyle Hamilton.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. It's football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted a 1/3 of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 5. That is caught at the 7.
And the Texans are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a first and goal.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on first and goal. Got his tight end, that's complete. It's Schultz. That'll bring up second and goal after the gain of 5.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two, wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Second and goal from the 1.
Stroud now on second down.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Dalton Schultz, a 1-yard touchdown reception.
And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A fourth-quarter touchdown here. We're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. 5 plays there on that drive.
And it was the tight end Dalton Schultz on the touchdown reception to cap the drive.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter.
No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field.
Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep left side. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Now that's a dangerous throw right there. Moving off to his right, throwing it all the way back across field to his left. I know he had a lot of confidence in his arm, but sometimes the ball can just hang up there when it goes that distance. He was fortunate it was just incomplete.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Jackson.
That'll be complete to Dobbins.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first.
We often talk about understanding the playbook, understanding progressions, and understanding what the defense is doing. We saw all of that on that play. Great recognition and understood where his running back was going to be. Found a way to have him leak out underneath, hit him with the football, and they picked up the first down.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. His throw incomplete. He was looking for Odell Beckham that time, but it'll be second down.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jackson. Over the middle to Beckham. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
They'll try the draw here with Dobbins. They find some open field here. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, down at the 31. To throw is Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. It's caught by OBJ. And he'll be brought down at the 27. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Off the play fake to Dobbins, here's Jackson. That is caught, Rashad Bateman. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That puts him in excellent position, 1st and goal after a gain of 19. Jackson now. Dancing to his left. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, a 9-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone, and that's exactly what he did there.
Tucker with the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And now after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this 4th quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. They'll start on the ground with Pierce, and he'll get this just across the 25-yard line.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. The offense on 3rd down, they're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now here's Stroud on 3rd down. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's 4th.
One of the best routes, one of the favorite routes of any play caller. He just ran that one. Nice little angle route. That's supposed to be a catch, and usually it is, and running back dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a running back, but he's got hands. He should have caught it. Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Houston. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Baltimore about ready to go on offense. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll try and start this drive in the air. It's caught. Beckham. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. That one covers 29 yards, first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, down at the 31.
Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. He finds his target, Beckham.
And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And Dobbins, he is not going to get there. They stop him short of the line to gain.
Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Meeting the tough yards, they run it with their fullback.
And he is going to have a Ravens first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
They're able to keep the drive alive, 7 yards that time, and the decision to go for it proves to be a good one.
And yes, everyone, that was the fullback carrying the football. I know it's a dying breed, it's a dying position for a lot of people, but I still think it's valuable and important, especially one who can carry the ball.
And you need short yardage. What makes sense? Go to a big body, let him plow forward just like he did there.
It's still a big man's game.
So this offense able to convert on fourth, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Malik Collins gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
An option handoff here to Dobbins.
Dances by at the 20.
90 yards rushing for him now to this point.
This has been an up and down, back and forth type of a game, hasn't it? Maybe this long drive take a little bit of the wind out of their sails, kind of settle things down a little bit.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a 1st down. On 3rd down, here's Dobbins.
And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to make it a 2-score game.
Tucker's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So that CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
Taken in at the 3. And he'll be stopped up at the 25.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field.
And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly.
On 1st down, here's Stroud. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack, but that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Throwing now is Stroud.
Throw left side complete. That's Schultz. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Got his man, it's Woods. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
It's hurry-up mode time for the Texans, hustling up to the line. Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about, and you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Stroud to throw it.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That means there's just one last chance left, and this has to be a 1st down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
Here we go on 4th down. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the 1st. It's a gain of 4 that time, and it's good enough for a Houston 1st down.
The one thing I have learned about this league, more and more, you've got to take some chances. You know, if you play everything conservatively and play everything exactly like, okay, I know what to do in each situation, I don't think you're going to get very far. I love the call there, going for it, even on his own side of the 50.
Yeah, and even though you're on your own side of the field, they were creeping towards midfield, so not as crazy as if they were back at their own 20. Right?
Showed a little faith in the defense too, right?
Yep.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Back-to-back incompletions, but we know this is definitely 4-down territory. Time not on their side. I don't think they want to try and get the 1st down in 2 installments. I think they got to go and get it right here, right now.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is caught. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
And what a throw that was, Charles. You think about the situation, close game, 4th quarter, rookie quarterback. He doesn't seem fazed one bit.
So much for bright lights, big city, and will he wilt? Not at all. The stage not too big, the moment not too big at all. They needed points on that series, and not only did he produce a touchdown drive, but how about finishing it off with a big play that only adds to the momentum that they've already established.
So still a little over 40 seconds to go. Time enough to put a drive together if they can get this onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Waiting to see that number is empirical.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down.
I'd sure love to offer some advice to the defensive coordinator, but his guys are just getting run over by an offense that's executing like a well-oiled machine.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Now a handoff for Dobbins.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this fourth quarter. An ideal down and distance to try to finish this thing off. 2nd and inches. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. On 3rd and short, they'll try option left. And he's across for the touchdown. And in the final minute, that should just about seal it. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Tucker now for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson.
Taking it about the 1. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Texans offense set to regain possession.
What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
And we'll see if they go back to base.
Here's Stroud.
He's going to let it fly. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. The last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Stroud.
Operation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season, but on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.